evaluate the software. We'll try to evaluate the software project. Software project evaluate गर्नको लागि there are different parameters that can be used, such as like technical. हामी last class में copy है. So that's why I'm asking you to come up with the exercise book. So there are different things that we can assess about a software project. The first one is technical, the next one is strategic, and third one is technical economical assessment. Economic assessment definitely it's going to related with the money. So in the case of technical assessment, we see the technical feasibility. We see the technical feasibility whether that thing is technically viable or not. And in the strategic assessment, we'll try to see in the long term whether that project is going to satisfy the long-term objective of the organization or not. So now we'll move on to the economic assessment. In the economic assessment, definitely we'll look over the money matters. We'll look over the monetary value of the project. So why we need to do the economic assessment? मलाई सुनिरहेछ है? मेरो आवाज क्लियर छ?
Sir.
Why we need to do the economic assessment is that economics one term. So economics is the different field of study. Economics one so there is a field of study called economics. Economics is all about the scarcity of the resource. It's all about the optimization of things. The resources are always scarce, and to optimize the resource at its best, then we need to study economics for that thing. So economic assessment, now what we are going to do is that, so definitely resources are scarce for a particular organization. They may have a different option. They may have come up with a different alternative so as to start the project. Organization they do have the fixed capital and budget. They don't have the unlimited budget in an organization. And for example, an organization to have the fixed budget, and they come up with the 3 different options whether to start a project A or project B or project C. An organization can only take one project among project A, project B, and project C. And in economic assessment, what we are going to do in a very simple way, what we are going to do is that we are going to pick that project among A, B, and C, which is going to give you the most return out of all. So we are going to pick that particular project which is going to give you the best return. That means which is going to give you the best return on your investment. If the project A is giving you 100,000, if the project B is giving you 50,000, and if the project C is giving you 125,000, definitely it's worth taking the project C. So our project profit why not to start all 3 projects? We do have the limited resource. We don't have enough funding to start all 3 projects. Among all 3 projects, we need to select one among those 3. So that's why we'll try to see which project is going to give me the maximum return among these 3. So one giving me the maximum return will be picked and will be executed. Is that clear? Why we need to perform economic assessment? Clear छ कि छैन? Are you getting me the point? Let me share a file. File share गर्छु and we'll start economic assessment. र अहिले मैले भनेको कुरा नै त्यहाँ एकदम ब्रिफमा लेखेको नि छ. हजुर ल अस्ति हामी क्लासमा यहाँसम्म गरे जस्तो लाग्छ. इकोनोमिक एसेसमेन्ट इट्स अ वे अफ एसेसमेन्ट टु फाइन्ड वेदर द प्रोजेक्ट इज द बेस्ट अमङ अदर अप्सन्स. सो इक्जाममा कस्तो पनि क्वेसन आउँछ अरे त. अब इक्जाममा कस्तो पनि क्वेसन आउँछ भनेदेखि यु विल बी गिभन 3 project A, project B, and project C. And you will be given the cash flow forecasting as well. Our cash flow forecasting we haven't seen yet. Cash flow forecasting भनेको चाहिँ यो project A मा कति इन्भेस्टमेन्ट गरेर what is the return that you are going to get in project A in upcoming years, and project B, what is the total investment and what is the return that you are going to get from the project B. And similarly for project C, you will be given the numbers, the total investment that you need to do and the return that you are going to get back from that project will be given in the case of project A, B, and C. So now you will be asked to pick one project among A, B, and C, and you need to give the valid reason at the end. Among A, B, and C, which project you picked up and what is the reason behind that one. Wonder you need to conclude your answer in that way. To हेर्न बाँकी नै छ. So exam मा यहाँबाट न्यूमेरिकल यसरी पनि आउन सक्छ मात्रै भनेको है. सो हामी लास्ट क्लासमा यहाँ थियो हाउ इकोनोमिक एसेसमेन्ट इज क्यारिड आउट भन्नेमा थियो. कहाँ पुगेको थियो हेर त कपी लुक एट यो एक्सर्साइज बुक कहाँसम्म लेखेको थियो हामीले.
त्यो how economic assessment is carried out सम्म.
Yeah, so there are three things that we can perform. First one is cost benefit analysis. Second one is cash flow forecasting. The third one is various tools that can be used like net profit, return on investment, net present value, and IRR. Right? This IRR is not MRR. Right? It's an internal rate of return manager. This is a tool that can be used to perform economic assessment. सो अब तिमीहरूले कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिसको कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस भन्छ इट्स अ भेरी सिम्पल वान. कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिसले के गर्छ इट इज अल अबाउट द प्लानिङ है. हामी इभ्यालुएसनमा छौँ. इभ्यालुएसन पार्टमा विल ट्राई टु प्रेडिक्ट द थिङ है. वी आर ट्राइङ टु प्रेडिक्ट द फ्युचर. So in cost benefit analysis, you can take the example of the hydropower project. The hydropower project generally have the longer gestation period, right? Generally, a hydropower project need a 10 years of complete at least. Even a hydro project need a time frame of 10 years to complete that one, and after that 10 years for next 20 and 30 years it's going to operate. It's going to operate for next 20 and 30 years. So now at the present time what you need to predict is that what is the total investment that I need to put in that project. And after the 10 years, the first 10 years is going to be the time of investment, and once the project is completed then it will start to run and it will start to give the return as well. So then after the 10 years, for next 30 years, if that project is going to run, so for next 30 years what is the return that project is going to give, so in that case, we are having the total benefit that I'm going to get from that project for next 30 years, and the total cost that I am going to put in that project for first 10 years. So we'll try to find the difference. We'll try to compare these two things. So definitely, if the benefit is bigger than the cost, then only it's worth taking that project. Project is always associated with the risks. There are more chances that project may fail. There comes so many different problems in the project. There comes a risks and various other thing. So definitely it's a game of risks doing a project. So if it's a highly risk project and if the return is very less, so it's rather to keep that money in a bank, in a very simple way. Project is related with the risks, so it takes a gestation time of 5-10 years to complete that one. And if the return from that project is very minimum, it's not worth taking that project. Rather than you can keep that money in the bank. So that will be the most safest investment. So अब यहाँ हेर यसलाई लेख्दैछौ तिमीहरू कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस भनेर कपी दिस वान है. यहाँबाट कपी गर त ल. कपी गरेर आई विल गिभ यु 5 मिनट टाइम है. 7:20 मा कपी गर त ल यो.
सर त्यो लास्टको 2 लाइन पनि सार्ने हो
whether the estimated costs are executed by the estimated income and by other benefit है यहाँसम्म सारा अनि त्यसपछि यसको बाँकी छ यो सकेको छैन थोरै म स्क्रोल गर्छु है त सो यहाँ हेर यहाँ के भन्नु छ कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस इज वान अफ द इम्पोर्टेन्ट एन्ड कमन वेज अफ क्यारिङ इकोनोमिक एसेसमेन्ट भनेको के हो एसेसमेन्ट मिन्स इभ्यालुएसन है हामी एसेसमेन्ट एक्जाम असाइनमेन्ट एसेसमेन्ट भन्दा वी आर ट्राइङ टु एसेस वी आर ट्राइङ टु इभ्यालुएट so we do this before actual thing starts hey so economic assessment of a proposed information system we are looking into the software project so that's why we are calling this as a information system and how this is done by expected cost of development of a system and this is expected one eh? Until unless the things are not done we don't know the actual cost so we are looking over the expected cost of the development of system expected cost of operation of a system and benefit obtained है अब operation cost भनेको के हो त ल भन त के हो operation cost भनेको के हो त operation cost भनेको कुनै पनि सिस्टम सेटअप भइसकेपछि त्यसलाई रन हुनु पनि डे टु डे अपरेसनमा जुन कस्ट लाग्छ डे टु डे अपरेट हुँदा कस्ट लाग्छ त्यसलाई हामी अपरेटिङ कस्ट भन्छौँ है कुनै पनि सिस्टम सेटअप भइसके पछाडि एउटा हाइड्रो पावरको प्रोजेक्ट कम्प्लिट भयो हाइड्रो पावर सिस्टम स्टार्ट भएपछि त्यो अपरेटिङ कस्ट छ कि छैन त्यसको चाहिँ डे टु डेको चाहिँ स्यालेरी वेजेस एन्ड भेरियस अदर थिङ त्यसलाई हामी अपरेटिङ कस्ट भन्छौँ एन्ड देन द बेनिफिट है सो यहाँ हेर्छौँ भनेदेखि देयर आर 3 थिङ्स वी हेभ लिस्टेड सो एक्सपेक्टेड कस्ट अफ डेभलपमेन्ट अफ सिस्टम द्याट इज नेगेटिभ वान है द्याट इज द इन्भेस्टमेन्ट so expected cost of operational system that is again the investment that is again the money that I need to put in the system and the third one benefit obtained is the value that I'm going to get back from the system right so we add up the first two values which is the total cost and the third one is the benefit obtained then we'll try to compare which one is more for project A or for project B or project C. So by performing cost benefit analysis, one with the most profitable will be picked to be done. So let's continue this one. The standard way of evaluating economic benefit of project is done by cost benefit analysis. Cost benefit analysis comprises of two steps. ल यो लेख त यहाँसम्म
सर अलिकति स्क्रोल गर्नु
यो यति साह्रै तिमीहरूले यहाँसम्म नेट बेनिफिट इज टोटल बेनिफिट इक्वल्स टु टोटल कस्ट भन्ने कुरा साह्रै यहाँ
छैन सर एकैछिनै
ल यसलाई एक्सप्लेन गरिदिन्छु मैले
सर त्यो टोटल बेनिफिट माइनस टोटल कस्ट होला नि हैन र नेट बेनिफिटलाई सक्यो सर
ल यहाँ हेर है त So, yeah, cost benefit analysis. One of the problem with the cost benefit analysis is that some of the benefit are intangible. Some of the benefit are intangible, meaning everything we could not quantify in terms of money. Hey? For example, if there is a healthcare project, the healthcare project healthcare project aim to upgrade the healthy way of living of the people. Right? So I mean cost benefit analysis if after 5 years a project is going to be completed, the people living in the community is going to have the better health and better way of living. So these all things could not be quantified in terms of money. Eh? So but in the case of cost benefit analysis, what we need to do is that we need to convert everything in terms of money, but there are certain things. If they change their lifestyle, if the people becomes more healthy, these all things could not be quantified in terms of money. Eh? As these all things could not be quantified in terms of money, everything could not be expressed in terms of money. So the benefit that we are going to get from the project are some of the things are intangible in terms of money. So yeah, So first step, identifying estimating. So we are using the term estimating. Estimating means we are doing this before the completion of the project, before the start of the project. Right? This is done before the start of the project. This is one of the tools that can be used whether to take that project or not to take that project. Right? So identifying and estimating all the cost and benefit of carrying out the project, and what it include: development cost, definitely the cost need to develop the thing, and the operating cost and the expected benefit from the new system. Right? So I gave you an example of a hydropower project that may need a 10 years of completion time, and after that that may operate for next 30 years. So for next 30 years we need to find the operating cost and definitely the return that I'm going to get from the project. And the step 2, we must express each cost and benefit each cost and benefit in terms of money है. अब यहाँ चाहिँ यहाँ benefit and also calculate the net benefit. Net benefit भनेको चाहिँ के हुन्छ भन्दाखेरि total benefit minus total cost. It's quite simple thing है. And if this value is positive, definitely the project is going to give me the return, good return भन्ने कुरा हुन्छ. अब 3 type of cost मा यो मेन पोइन्टमा लेख है. डेभलपमेन्ट कस्ट, सेटअप कस्ट, अपरेसन कस्ट लेख र यो मेन पोइन्टमा लेख. यु क्यान एक्सप्लेन द अदर थिङ्स अन यर ओन है. 3 types of cost for start the development cost, setup cost, operation cost, and 3 categories of the benefit: direct benefit, the benefit that I'm going to get in terms of money, and accessible indirect benefit. I mean, I mentioned kura bhane, if the lifestyle of the people is upgraded, if the people becomes more healthy, those are the accessible indirect benefits. And there is intangible benefit as well. You 3 types of cost for start. मैले थोरै स्क्रोल गरिदिन्छु. No. 3 categories of benefit: direct, accessible, indirect benefit. Which accessible one, which we can directly see, and there are intangible as well. Right? Intangible is hard to measure, hard to assess. ल यो सकियो आर डन विथ दिस ल
छैन
ल लेट मी नो है यो सबै पोइन्टहरू मतलब यो मेन पोइन्ट मात्रै लेख्यो भनेको तिमीहरूलाई यु क्यान अन्डरस्ट्यान्ड द अदर थिङ्स है डाइरेक्ट बेनिफिट एसेसेबल इन्डाइरेक्ट बेनिफिट एन्ड इन्टेन्जिबल बेनिफिट है सो वाट वी डु we add up the cost and we subtract that with the benefit or we add up the benefit and subtract that with the cost if that value is positive and if we are comparing three different projects so one with the higher that particular value will be selected भन्ने चाहिँ हामी कन्क्लुजन दिन सक्छौँ है त
सक्यो सर
हामी यहाँ कुनै पनि न्युमेरिकल गरिरहेको छैनौँ अहिले विल सी द न्युमेरिकल इन अपकमिङ सेक्सन अब यहाँ हेर अब हामी त्यसपछि कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस पछि नेक्स्ट थिङ द्याट विन टु सी इज द क्यास फ्लो फोरकास्टिङ है सो क्यास फ्लो फोरकास्टिङमा चाहिँ सो अब यहाँ अलिकति फर्स्ट यो लेख क्यास फ्लो फोरकास्टिङ भनेको के हो फोरकास्टिङ भनेको चाहिँ दिस इज द प्रेडिक्सन हो कि होइन सो वेदर फोरकास्टिङ भन्छ बजेट भन्छ बजेट इज एक्चुअली फोरकास्टिङ है जुन हामी चाहिँ फिजिकली यसको बजेट भाषण भन्छ बजेटिङ इज एक्चुअली अ काइन्ड अफ फोरकास्टिङ है फोरकास्टिङ मिन्स द्याट वेयर द मनी इज गोइङ टु कम हु इज गोइङ टु गिभ द मनी एन्ड वेयर वी आर गोइङ टु इन्भेस्ट द्याट मनी त्यसलाई हामी बजेट भन्छौँ बजेट इज अल्सो फोरकास्टिङ द्याट इज द एस्टिमेसन सो द एस्टिमेसन सुड म्याच विथ द रियल थिङ देन द्याट एस्टिमेसन विल बी क्वाइट रियल सो यहाँ क्यास फ्लो फोरकास्टिङ भनेको वी आर प्रेडिक्टिङ एट टाइम जेरो है एउटा कुरा के याद गर भनेदेखि अब हामी न्युमेरिकल गर्दाखेरि हामी टाइममा इयर जेरो इयर वान इयर टू भन्छौँ इयर जेरो मिन्स द प्रेजेन्ट टाइम द टाइम द्याट वी आर नाउ द टाइम अफ इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अब अहिले हामी इफ वी स्टार्ट द प्रोजेक्ट from today's date, हामी as December 11 मा if we start a certain project, then this time will be considered as year 0 भनिन्छ है त. So cash flow forecasting भनेको चाहिँ this is the forecasting of the cash. So where how much money is going to be invested and how much money is going to come back from that project, त्यसलाई हामी cash flow forecasting भन्छौँ. So first copy this one है, यसलाई copy गरेर that will see the figure. Let me scroll a bit. अब यहाँ हेर्न सक्छौ है तिमीहरूले. अब यो फिगरमा it's quite simple to understand if you are able to analyze this figure. So in y-axis हामी y-axis मा के गरिरहेका छौँ, we are measuring the income and expenditure है. माथिको लेख्यो हैन, माथिको त्यो स्टेटमेन्टहरु लेख्यो नि क्याश फ्लो फोरकास्टिङ को लेख्यो. So in y-axis, what we are measuring the income and expenditure. In the positive direction, we are measuring the income, whereas in negative, that's the expenditure. The expenditure bhayirahcha. So अब यहाँ हेर्न सक्छौ, from this curve, what we can see is that from this point to this point, this is the negative section. Oh, this is the part of expenditure. Mean this is the investment that we need to do in the project. And from this point, there is a break-even point, negative to positive change bhayirahcha, and up to this point, you points we are getting the income. Oh, so y-axis positive, what we are getting income. This is a very small section at the end, which is negative, which means is that the lower section, these one, the one at the first and one at the end are the expenditure, the cost of investment in the project, whereas the one in between, the first and last, is the income that I'm getting from the project, right? This is the cash flow forecasting. अब यो value भनेको चाहिँ हामी year 0, year 1, year 2 मा चाहिँ we predict the expenditure that we are going to put in the project, then we have plotted this value. यो value भनेको चाहिँ हामीले year 0, year 1, if the project is going to be completed in 10 years, year 0 देखि year 9 सम्म हामी अथवा year 1 देखि year 10 सम्मलाई चाहिँ हामी expenditure को value मा चाहिँ plot गर्छौं. Then after, if that project is going to run for next 30 years, so this is the income that the project is going to generate for 30 years. Last को यो value किन यसरी नेगेटिभ आइरहेछ भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ if the project is come to an end, यदि एउटा प्रोजेक्ट छ, कुनै पनि एउटा प्रोजेक्ट छ भनेदेखि every project need to come to an end है. So that is not going to last forever. त्यो प्रोजेक्ट कहिले पनि जहिले सदाकाललाई चल्छ भन्ने छैन है. So if you take the example of a concrete building, or a concrete building कुनै यसको लाइफ स्प्यान हुन्छ, generally it is considered to be 100 years, and after 100 years that need to be dismantled, right? After 100 years, if there is a breeze and if it has not collapsed, then also it need to be dismantled, right? त्यो ब्रिजलाई त्यहाँबाट हटाउनु पर्छ, because at any time it may collapse. So त्यो कारणले कुनै पनि सिस्टमलाई at the end चाहिँ it need to be removed from the installation, right? It need to remove from the working environment. So this small cost at the end is the removable cost है. त्यो भनेको चाहिँ सिस्टमलाई त्यहाँबाट हटाएको कस्टलाई चाहिँ हामी चाहिँ नेगेटिभ कन्सिडर गरिरहेको छौँ हैन. लास्टमा चाहिँ we may sell that in the scrap value. हामी स्क्रैप भ्यालुमा प्रोजेक्टको सामानहरुलाई बेच्न सक्छौं. So this is the expenditure that we are having at the end of the project है त. प्रोजेक्टको टोटल लाइफ स्प्यानको एन्डमा चाहिँ यो नेगेटिभ आउनुको मिनिङ चाहिँ वी रिमुभ द प्रोजेक्ट फ्रम दि वर्किङ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट है त। ल यो फिगर बनाऊ त। यहाँ तल लेखेको छ नेगेटिभ क्यास फ्लो र पोजिटिभ क्यास फ्लोको मिनिङ के हो। यो भयो नेगेटिभ एन्ड पोजिटिभ क्यास फ्लो फरकास्टिङ।
भयो सर।
La. So you can see the curve. The one going down is the expenditure, whereas the curve when it comes up is the income, and at the end there is a downward movement of this curve. Right? So this is the system removal cost. So this is the development cost. This is the income that the system is going to give you, and at the end there is the small negative cost, that is the removing the system from an existing environment. Right? So our अब यहाँ चाहिँ त्यही कुरा एक्सप्लेन गरेको छ क्यास फ्लो ड्युरिङ डेभलपमेन्ट स्टेज। अब यो लेख्नु परेन, आइम जस्ट गोइङ टु एक्सप्लेन यु दिस थिङ। क्यास फ्लो ड्युरिङ डेभलपमेन्ट स्टेज भनेको चाहिँ क्यास फ्लो ड्युरिङ डेभलपमेन्ट स्टेज भनेको चाहिँ फर एक्जाम्पल दिस इज दि 1 to 10 years फर अ हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट। द हाइड्रो पावर प्रोजेक्ट जेस्टेसन टाइम इज जेनरली लङ। सो फर 10 years द्याट वी निड टु इन्भेस्ट द मनी फर द प्रोजेक्ट भनेपछि इन 10 years वाट आर द थिङ्स द्याट इज गोइङ टु बी इन्क्लुडेड इन द डेभलपमेन्ट विल बी स्टाफ वेजेस, borrowing money from a bank. After this part we'll see the time value of money. Time value of money भनेको मतलब चाहिँ project is always related with the uncertainties, and we are going to invest in that project which has higher success rate, higher success rate and the better return on investment. You may have heard the word return on investment as well. Return on investment भनेको when my investment is going to recover back. And there are various different kind of scheme in a bank, like after 7.5 years your capital is going to be double. Just a scheme pani cha. So we compare that one as well. If the return on that project is not as good as the interest that I'm getting from the bank, it's not worth investing into that project. Project is always associated with the risks. Even you assess that project is going to be successful, at the end it may end it being a failure project. That might be possible. So the return that I'm getting from the project and the return that I'm getting from the alternative investment option, right? Alternative investment option ma chahi either you may put that money in the bank or you may invest in some other thing. So we compare all the alternative, and among all the alternative, if investing in that project is worth, then only we are going to do that one, eh? So what are the thing that is going to be considered in the cash flow development stage? My staff is borrowing money from a bank. अब यस्तो हुन्छ, अब कोही मान्छे कोही चाहिँ कम्पनीसँग दे मे हेभ देयर ओन क्यापिटल, दे मे हेभ देयर ओन बजेट, बट स्टिल दे विल कम्पेयर, है, दे विल कम्पेयर अल द अल्टरनेटिभ. So where I put my money and from where I'm going to get the best return out of that, even they may have the money, they try to put in that place where the return is going to be high, eh? So paying interest to the bank, but if you have taken the loan from a bank, definitely the interest rate, the interest that you need to pay to the bank, and the interest rate or the return that you are getting from the project should be bigger than the interest that I need to pay to the bank. That's a very simple rule of thumb, eh? So everyone will see that one. If you are investing in a project and if you are borrowing a money from an individual or from a bank, definitely you need to pay the interest to that person or to an organization. So we compare the return that I'm getting from the project is bigger than the interest that I need to pay or not, and in that case only we will perform the investment, right? And the payment of salaries amount is spent for installation, buying hardware and software. So these are the things that we consider, right? ल यो यति कम्प्लिट गर त, देन विल मुभ अन टु एक्चुअल न्युमेरिकल. त्यसपछि हामी न्युमेरिकल स्टार्ट गर्छौँ.
सक्यो सर त्यहाँसम्म।
सो क्यास फ्लो ड्युरिङ डेभलपमेन्ट स्टेजमा चाहिँ के कुराहरू चाहिँ क्यास फ्लो पर्छ अनि इन्कममा चाहिँ के आउँछ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ यो गरिरहेछ। सो दिस इज नेगेटिभ, अब हामी चाहिँ यहाँ क्यास फ्लो फोरकास्टिङ गरेर छौँ। दिस इज द एक्सपेन्डिचर एन्ड द इन्कम, पेमेन्ट एन्ड कम्प्लिसन एन्ड स्टेज पेमेन्ट भनेको द रिटर्न द्याट वी आर गोइङ टु गेट फ्रम द प्रोजेक्ट हो है। सो अब कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस टेक्निकमा चाहिँ अब हामी यो पार्ट स्टार्ट गर्छौँ है। सो यहाँबाट चाहिँ न्युमेरिकल अब क्यालकुलेटर चाहिन्छ हामीलाई। सो कस्ट बेनिफिट एन्ड इभ्यालुएसन टेक्निक अब है, कस्ट बेनिफिट को कुरा मात्रै गऱ्यो। सो एक्ज्याक्टली वाट आर द टुल द्याट वी आर गोइङ टु युज इन कस्ट बेनिफिट एनालाइसिस टेक्निक। ल यो स्टार्ट गरौँ त। Cost benefit evaluation technique. Cost benefit, it considers the time and the cost and the timing, timing of the cost and benefit relative to the size of the investment. So अब त्यसको लागि चाहिँ धेरैवटा टुल्सहरू छ। सो विल सी वान बाई वान। So let me scroll a bit. I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 net profit, payback period, return on investment, net present value र internal rate of return. So most probably हामीलाई अर्को दुईटा क्लास चाहिँ यो पार्टहरू कभर गर्नलाई लाग्छ है त। So we'll see one by one. So cost benefit analysis evaluation technique ma. So exam ma चाहिँ you may be given numbers for project A, B, and C, and will be asked to use one of these technique to assess the project. So you may be asked to use the payback period to select among those three alternatives, or you may be asked to use the net present value either. So अब हामी नेट प्रफिटबाट जान्छौँ. सो अब नेट प्रफिट दिस इज अ भेरी सिम्पल वे. सो नेट प्रफिटमा यहाँ हेर्न सक्छौँ द नेट प्रफिट अफ द प्रोजेक्ट इज द डिफरेन्स बिट्विन द टोटल कस्ट एन्ड द टोटल इन्कम over the life of the project. And this is a very simple way of doing the thing. Generally we don't do in this way. So यहाँ तिमीहरूले हेर्न सक्छौ net profit मा के भनिरहेछ. So net profit of the project is the difference between the total cost and total income over the life of the project. भनेको चाहिँ यहाँ year 0 गरेछ है. यहाँ एउटा कुरा हेर, यहाँ year 0 भनेको छ this is the year of investment. This is the year of investment, and there are year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are the income that I'm getting in the consecutive year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 either. So at the end the net profit is the value that I'm getting after adding all these value from 1 to 5 and subtracting with the value at the year 0. So for project A, if I consider this as project 1, this is project 1, the net profit is 50,000, whereas for project 2 net profit is 100,000, whereas for project 3 the net profit is 75,000. So using this very simple technique among these projects 2 and 3, I'm going to select the project 2 because I'm getting the bigger return from project 2 compared to project 1 and project 3. Oh, is that so? Okay, त्यो कुरा ठीक हो? Are you getting me? यो बुझ्यौ कि बुझेन?
छैन सर, एकचोटि फेरि भनिदिनु न.
ल हेर है त. So this is the net profit. In net profit, what we do is that net profit formula के हो? Total cost minus total income. So now in this table, यो table देखाएको छ है. There is year in project 1, project 2, and project 3. So year 0 is the investment. So we are investing at the present time. So we are writing all the investment that we made in the year 0 in this row. So for project 1, the investment is 100,000. For project 2, it's a 1 million, and for project 3, the investment is 120,000. So after that, for year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these are the income that I'm getting from project 1. This is the income that I'm getting from project 2, and this is the income I'm getting from project 3. So last net profit value चाहिँ कसरी आइरहेछ भन्देखि I sum up all the value from 1 to 5. That is the income that I'm getting from the project, and finally subtract that value with the value at year 0, because that is the investment. होइन त? Because that is the investment. So I add up all the value from 1 to 5 and subtract with the value at year 0. Similarly, I do that for project 2 and project 3. So at the end, what value I'm getting as a net profit? For project 1, it's a 50,000. For project 2, it's 100,000, and for project 3, it's a 75,000. So from this way, if I am asked to select either project 1, 2, or 3, definitely I'm going to select project 2, because I'm getting more return from project 2 compared to project 1 and 3. Is that true?
हो सर.
ल त्यही भएर चाहिँ यो एक्जाम्पल लेख्नु पर्दैन. यु निड टु ड्र द टेबल. जस्ट यति लेख अनि आजलाई हामी विल कन्टिन्यू दिस इन नेक्स्ट क्लास है त. ल यो भयो यो टेबल पर्दैन इट्स क्वाइट सिम्पल वान यसै न्युमेरिकली यस्तो सिम्पल न्युमेरिकली आउँदैन सो जस्ट गेट द आइडिया अफ द फर्मुला नेट प्रफिट इज द टोटल कस्ट माइनस टोटल इन्कम है त ठिक छ यो भयो यहाँसम्म ल आजलाई यतिसम्म गरौँ हामी अब सन्डे कन्टिन्यू गर्ला है विल कन्टिन्यू दिस अन सन्डे सो लेट मी टेक द एटेन्डेन्स एज वेल है म एटेन्डेन्स पनि लिन्छु लेट मी स्टप सेयरिङ ल देयर आर अल टोटल हाउ मेनी पार्टिसिपेन्ट्स 27 जना रहेछ ल ओके आई हेभ टेकन द एटेन्डेन्स आई एम गोइङ टु स्टप द रेकर्डिङ एज वेल ल